picked Evolution for a while.
Yeah, very consistent damage, but all right, here we go. DOL Kittens versus G as we begin our drafting phase. Leafeon gonna be the first ban of DOL Kittens. Do not want that to slide over to Zealot.
Yeah, Leafeon, really impactful. I mean, all the evolutions, I know I keep saying it, but the trio as a ban, a little bit more interesting, right? We have seen it with really high impact today and over this course of this weekend, so it's really targeted. And actually, I would say both of these bans on the side of G are very player targeted.
Oh, I would say all four of these, honestly, if we want to call it maybe Phalanx being the only outstanding option other than that, because Leafeon kind of dipping down on the ban rate charts throughout this tournament, not as frequent as we've seen in the past. Sylveon currently being the hover for DOL Kittens, such a phenomenal Pokemon at the top of all of our prediction of the usage charts. I think we've been kind of living up to our titles as analysts with that one because Sylveon has been everywhere.
And then on the other side, Slash's true signature pick for the course of this tournament, extremely strong Umbreon. Umbreon, like I said, sometimes first ban, sometimes first pick, sometimes ignored for an entire set. But any time that we are going to see Slash on broadcast for this particular tournament at least, it's going to be way up there, as well as picking up that support really early, which has been really coming into play for a lot of these games.
Yeah, that's true. And you always, if you're picking that list, you really don't want to see that Umbreon on the opposite side of the battlefield. So there's a very frequent first pick on the orange side of the field is the Umbreon in partnership with the Blissey. Now, she's going to be locking in all four of their Pokemon. We have Blaziken and Cramorant going in. I don't know if we have seen Black Sage play the Cramorant so far. A lot of EVs, a lot of the Mew, but now we're going to seeing a new look. And the Gyarados locked in by DOL Kittens, and there's the Meowscarada again.
All right, well, the Meowscarada we've seen, like you said, it's extremely strong, especially now the fact that we've got the double evolution. I mean, that was kind of one of the original reasons why we started to see the Meowscarada was it's quite good against a lot of the evolutions, and these two in particular are going to be great examples of that. But on the other side, interesting, of course, always going to be really interesting to see kind of what brawlers are being picked right now. That does tend to be kind of the deciding factor here. So do you think we are going to see a top path Blaziken here?
Yeah, I think you play Blaziken within the top path. Zealot can absolutely clear central area on the Meowscarada, get up to that big level 5 at least, so they can start pushing. Meowscarada does have that 4-6 evolution pattern, so can very quickly get both of their moves by that final Evo at 6. Sometimes even at the end of that first bird fight, you're already hitting that break point. So sure, Zealot can be chasing that down as quickly as possible. Now, the one thing I want to say that I'm excited for on G's draft really is this Blissey. I think it is one of the best supports in the game. I understand Hoopa's impact with the Unite move is so phenomenal and how we've seen it play out in matches, but the Blissey just seems to work so well in our top path dominated metagame.
Yeah.
That Blissey just partners so well with those brawlers consistently, and it feels like we're enabling the strongest role by locking in Blissey.
Yeah, also, we've seen so much strategy from G with exactly like you're talking about the Umbreon pick with the Blissey, and the combinations together are just so good. And then, of course, if you're egg noob, you have to choose an egg Pokemon, right? It's only fair.
All right, game 1 of round 2 of the final stretch. Crowd popping off already, and it's G versus DOL Kittens.
And now we get to see exactly what's going where, and not what I expected from the side of G. That center path is a bird.
All right, Black CH going to take a little bit of that central area experience, try to get to their first upgraded move out of the basic set that they have, and try to shut down this Magikarp early, if at all possible, as we have Banzo trying to clear as quickly as they can, fill up that effort gauge, and get to the evolution as soon as they can.
Already the Whirlpool coming into play, doing a lot of damage to the Magikarp, and of course she's going to be able to help clear out this neutral EXP very, very quickly. Make sure to be able to kind of steal all of that away from that Magikarp. Make sure that they get that super slow game. We are going to see a little bit being cleared in that center area from Zealot, which does make a lot of sense. You really don't need very much at all for the Cramorant. In fact, I'd maybe expect that we're not going to see it even go back very much throughout the course of the game.
Yeah, unlikely. Now that they have the blue buff and are that much closer to Meowscarada, I think they're feeling quite comfortable. First spawn of those birds to create a big whirlpool and air slash damage from Black to try to steal as much as they possibly can. Slash making the long rotation up as well. It's quite a bit of damage. Magikarp hunting. If they can get that last hit knockout, they would immediately evolve. Unfortunately, Umbreon, a very tough one to KO when you're only doing flail damage.
Yeah, and I love the idea of the Cramorant here as well. Cramorant, when you have Whirlpool, one of the best at defending gold zones in the entire game. It does so many multi-hits. It makes you have to move away. And scoring is honestly, even just a few points, is a huge huge way to evolve as Magikarp. Also, nice KO there. Nice little hunt down.
Yeah, huge. Elmo Girl gonna shut that down with the Espeon. Great knockout, and Muck trying to hold it in this bottom path with the Trevenant. Now, this is an interesting matchup. Obviously, Slash has played both defender and support at the top of competitive play. That boy Muck changing roles to play on this DOL Kittens team to play the defender. So that is a pretty tough mismatch in terms of experience between those two. Muck definitely has their work cut out for them in the bottom path.
They have been looking really good, though, with that roll switch. We've seen this might be the season of roll switches, to be 100% honest, but we can talk about that later. Right now, we got to look at the Gyarados finally evolving, but evolving at the 7-minute 40 mark, which is definitely slow altogether. You really want to, at least at minimum, hit that 8-minute mark, so it's going to be a little bit of time. But now, with the strength of current Gyarados, he is going to immediately be a threat, especially backed up by a Hoopa. You are already going to have to be scared.
We did see a Waterfall Gyarados earlier today. That will not be happening this time. We do have the Bounce Gyarados locked in, and DOL Kittens just retreating from that battle over the experience. Not going to have the chance to steal any away, but they might have a chance to chase a KO. Meowscarada clone goes down. Do not have the firepower for anything else.
Huge overheat being charged in that center tall grass, and does manage to catch one member, at least just getting a big chunk of damage. Wasn't able to get any KOs, but at least going to force them into a reset, and everybody almost from G is going to be prioritizing this big Regieleki, and they're going to probably try to push it in. No, actually, they're just going to back up, get some more spaces. Basement Reggie's going to go down to DOL Kitten, so just very quick takes on either side.
This is quickly getting out of hand for G. They almost have that level 8 on the Blaziken. To DOL Kitten's credit, though, they are shutting down any pushes onto their bottom tier goal zone. I don't believe they have any vision on where Zealot is, though, so they do not know this Meowscarada is going in for the back cap, but at least they are securing points on the opposite side themselves.
Yeah, we've seen a decent amount of back caps from Zealot on this Meowscarada. I mean, obviously it is a speedster and it can be a little bit tricky, but it's still a very scary thing to do. However, from all their games so far, we have seen it. A push is going down, though, up top into this tier 1 goal zone from G, but the defense from DOL Kitten is just so strong, especially with the rotations from the Hoopa. They're immediately going to get the KO on a Gnoob, looking for one more that they can get handily.
Sobi takes a KO streak of 2, and Chad gets involved as well. That is what happens when you have such a successful bottom path in the early parts of that game. Great play by Muck, just getting up in the face of that Cramorant and allowing the rest of the team to retreat. Everybody is able to make it out, and Cramorant goes down. Black CH knocked out, and Sobi just keeps cooking on this Sylveon.
Big Phantom Force as well, hitting multiple, getting those shields, getting that damage, and it does look like maybe we're going to have to start looking towards a reset, but so much of that fight went to DOL Kittens. They managed to fan out a lot of Unites, they got a lot of experience, built themselves a lot of space as well. As you can see, even Gyarados just kind of doing its own thing a little bit lower, and now you can just keep going back and forth. The mobility, I feel, of Koopa, obviously always really good, but it's really being used very well in this matchup so far.
Yeah, we were talking about the defense of the goal zone so much. A lot of that in part due to Chad does not get the portal down in time. You see all of DOL Kittens hovering around that goal zone, hoping that they could transfer towards the top side. They will not be able to do that. Now they have to focus on this bot side objective. G, on the other hand, almost the entire squad, 4 players, going to focus on their Regieleki to knock it out as quick as possible.
Yeah, they're basically just trading objectives once again. This is now 2 in a row.
Whoa.
We're going to see the Unite be popped to defend against the Regieleki, running away. They're like, is that real? Is that real? I don't even know. I'm not going to risk it. Doesn't look like okay, never mind. There we go. Very final moment they all went through there. That is like within the final second of that portal, but they wanted to get as much as they possibly could before they went back to defend. So once again, this is looking like somewhat of a stalemate. Levels aren't too far apart. This is going to be big, though. A lot of points going in, and we're probably going to break this goal zone.
Huge overdunk, 38 points going in for DOL Kittens, and now they are holding onto the lead. I do like that play call of the hyperspace hole, by the way, the Hoopa Unite move. However, it was just really early. Like, normally you do that to take the bottom objective, then immediately port to the other side. It still works out in DOL Kitten's favor, though. G just able to break the bottom tier goal zone because of it.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think I've ever seen everybody go through a portal in like the literal last half second of it, but it worked out. You know, they got their timing. And hey, now you get a little bit faster recharge if you use it earlier, but they didn't make it work. A nice chase on a KO. That was a greedy Unite. I'm going to throw that out there. You're 2 people chasing down 1. You wanted to use that Unite. Just make sure it happens. And, I mean, hey, you get the KO. We're at 3 minutes 30. You might not get another chance, so I get it.
We probably don't have any more Reggie fights either at this point in the game, so yeah, make sure to utilize that if you can. And a KO absolutely absolutely worth it. OG does get a ton of damage. That's 2 Unite moves taken out. Zella is going in. Blitz assistance chasing down that Masquerada. And now Sobi just has to avoid. Huge Gyarados Unite move, though. Manzo popping up. Unstoppable with that bounce as well. And a KO Streak of 2 for the DOLE Kittens. OG trying to turn things around. Same with Slash on this Umbreon. Big push by Muck, though, on the Trevenant. And that is 4 members down for G. And a KO Streak of 3 for the Gyarados.
And one of the best combinations is Bounce Gyarados with Hoopa, because they can just kind of sit there, get the unstoppable bounce through to get the heals, get the reset, then they're getting the shields as well. Everything's just really good about it. But DOL Kittens, I was talking about this in their last set. They are such a strong team fight team. They just comp around that so much, and that was one of their first big full team fights. It looked amazing. One more time, we're going 3 for 3 with them, just basically trading objectives, though.
Yeah.
And these are obviously going to be the last ones. You said we're not going to get the Reggie fights because they're just going to let each other have the other one.
Exactly, I'm a prophet. Yeah, they're flipping sides, by the way, too. So this is going to be DOL Kittens favoring the Reggie Alecki for the first time in the game, and G taking that basement Reggie, again, for the first time in the game for them. It will be a Reggie rock buff. So a bit of extra defense. I don't know it's necessarily super strong into anything that DOL Kittens is bringing to the table. Gyarados able to just shred HP so fast, I don't really know how relevant it will be, but the experience definitely beneficial. Cramorant, Meowscarada, and Blaziken all boasting a level 13. Damage carries for DOL Kittens, though, keeping pace.
Now, I'd expect maybe a Hoopa Unite to get back if they really want to get out of this situation. But right now, they're just taking the 1v1, going underneath, using the Unite for the 1v1 to get past the overheat, and they're not going to be using that Unite. So the Unite, I mean, they used a Unite, I guess. It just ended up being the Gyarados one. That's huge, though, because that's been giving so much mileage for them as far as the initiations.
Yeah, I mean, you sort of forced that Unite move out. Great work by OG to chase down the bounce. Knew they couldn't make it over the wall and really punishes that play. Great pull on Muck, who comes back through the portal. They are able to Horn Leech. Immediate Unite move hits all 4 members. Huge dive by DOLE Kittens. They see the blood in the water and they chase it down. Absolute huge tree engagement. Zella trying to turn things around. OG still up in this fight. Has totally recalled back to base. Rayquaza only about half HP. A speedster and an all-arounder trying to chase down this final hit on the Rayquaza. OG stance changes. Overheat is channeling. You gotta stop him. No way!
OG! The threat, they needed to deal with it. They had to. The one opportunity for the turn around. The perfect time to respawn and steals away that Rayquaza.
OG does exactly what a Blaziken needs to do in that situation. Perfect timing on the stance change. Stands right in front of the Rayquaza. As you are channeling overheat, you are unstoppable, and no one from DOL Kittens could out-secure nor knock out the Blaziken. And now G are going to be starting this series with a 1-0 advantage.
Wow, just barely making it back in time. DOL Kittens, they really wanted to finish that one off, just run it down, but they were just a second and a half too late, letting OG run all the way back, and then obviously the follow-up for taking the Rayquaza was nearly a full team wipe. DOL Kittens looked completely in control until that moment, but hey, that's one of the biggest reasons why you choose Blaziken and G going up game number 1.
OG with a hero moment in that game. The Blaziken not only securing the Ray, but a KO streak of 3 in that little refight that was only started by OG and Zella, the only 2 members still up and standing in that squad. Of course, DOL Kittens having a frustrating look. Their chance to take home the trophy of the first ever final stretch tournament.
Yeah, the first ever, which is, I mean, this is so exciting that we're here and we're getting close to the end. But here we go, draft for game number 2. Of course, the winner of this set goes into the finals for the final stretch, the final stretch, and is 1 set away from qualifying for Worlds. G up 1-0, and we're back in draft.
Sylveon banned to start things off for G on the orange side. DOL Kittens favoring that first pick position. I'm going to take that Umbreon away from Slash.
I like that a lot. Slash has not really been denied Umbreon all that much so far in this tournament. Also, another thing that I like, we had G banning away the Mew, but really
no shot. Let's go.
You asked for it and you got it live on broadcast.
Sableye locked in. Second pick, by the way, for DOL Kittens. I don't have eyes on Dupes next, but I'm sure he went sky high.
Yeah, somewhere. We'll just hear him land, after he jumps.
No, this time though.
Yeah, this is a little bit much, but okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Okay,
think you take that again. It may have been the winning choice in the last game, so I totally get it. Same thing again as well. Sobi's Espeon, like you mentioned, has been so incredibly good.
Yeah.
It's also going to work out with this kind of like early game, more aggressive play style that's going to be able to back up some of the annoyance, I think, from this Sableye.
Okay, so if you're playing double mage with no healer locked in so far, of course Muck can use that wish healing. I wonder if you go with a second, I was going to say second defender. Yeah, let's run that speedster.
Sure, whatever you were saying.
Interesting to see them move away from the Gyarados. I mean, it is a tough early game composition. I don't know if you'd want to run that specifically, but back to the Path Talonflame. Zealot going to keep rocking that Meowscarada.
Yeah, the Meowscarada is looking great. Nobody really kind of counterpicks it or goes against it or tries to deny it. So if it's working for you, you're on this stage and you want a comfy match, just go for it. And I do feel like this is a ridiculous commitment from the side of DOL Kittens. I do have to expect we're going to be seeing the Wish just for some sort of healing on this team. But also, are you going to have an opportunity to heal any of these Pokemon, or are they just going to get one shot?
Well, you got to remember, you Wish well in the casting animation does apply damage reduction, so there might be some opportunities to utilize that.
So you might get two shots.
Flames going all in, but yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, I don't think Muck's been playing very much Snarl either when they are on the Umbreon. It is traditionally that, honestly, Muck's been playing a lot of Meadlock. So if they are going on that opportunity, Meadlock with Talonflame does have some success.
And Gardevoir.
And Gardevoir in particular.
Really
there we go.
Scary.
Yeah.
That's
the one.
You get put in the Meadlock and you just look up and you're like, I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Go on without me.
Yeah, we go next. But all right, here we go. DOL Kittens with their backs against the wall. Reminder, there's only one prize in this tournament, the trophy, but also the spot at the World Championships, and you cannot lose a single match. Right now, we are going into Game 2, so make some noise, NAIC, as DOL Kittens face off against G.
DOL Kittens, they've been playing so well. Again, they were in control of that last game. They absolutely were, but the clutch factor was just too much from OG, so it didn't feel like it was like a full loss, right? If they continue to play the way that they are, clutch it out just a little bit, things will go well. But of course, we got to take a look at the early game always when there's Sableye on screen.
Oh, of course, yeah. Chad rocking the Sparkle Spray as well. Effect on the Hollowware looking so pretty in that Jester style. Wow, I just can't look away.
I think Chad's actually had the most Sparkle Spray of the day. We need that from our stats team, please.
I think that was Spraggles, actually.
Oh, yeah, probably. He is in real life. But you look at this, actually playing a little bit defensive on that Sableye, stopping the aggression here from this pre-treat.
Yeah, actually, interesting note about G's composition. 3 Pokemon are running stacking items. So even the Trevenant, the defender play from Slash, will be rocking that Aeos Cookie. Some players prefer the early shielding of Resonant Guard. Some players prefer the higher maximum HP pool of the Aeos Cookie. Seems like Slash is going with the latter.
Yeah, I feel like Aeos Cookie has been doing really well on a lot of Pokemon. Even Pokemon that we don't expect quite as much recently, but of course they're going to be fighting for all the Altaria. Didn't seem like too much of the experience went to DOL Kittens, but of course, I mean, there's 4 people stacking bottom. You have to kind of expect that. And once again, we are going to see a lot of usage out of the Hoopa, this time from the other side, though.
Okay, DOL Kittens doing this play where they want to pull off and fight G onto their goal zone and then try to punish as quickly as they can. I think a tough time KOing Zealot. However, we do have the KO to the Mew, and now the Meowscarada goes down next. So DOL Kittens with a very good counterpunch in this early game.
They are going to need it. They got to take some, I feel like, momentum, right? I mean, especially if you're using Sableye. I always say this, if you're using Sableye, of course they get the little defensive KO, but if you're using Sableye, you kind of have to be winning from the first moment of the game until the 2-minute mark. Otherwise, it's not really worth it. And right now, we are going for a little bit of invasion. Did manage to steal away that blue buff, which is going to be great. They're not going to follow up on that. Let Zealot get away. Obviously, very hard to lock down, but at the very minimum, stole some of that EXP.
Of course, yeah, those early moments are so important, especially as we move towards our bigger team fights that tend to begin around that 7-minute mark. At least we tend to see a 4v4 at most of those situations. That is Eggnoob caught in a mean look, a little bit of a portal a little later, but a little too late.
Yeah, just barely. You're trying to not be in the bad circle, get in the good circle instead, and unfortunately it was all the bad circle right there. Right now, though, they're chasing down the user of that bad circle, that Umbreon, going to land the Wood Hammer, but again, that's kind of the target that you want to get hit, and especially backed up by this Gardevoir, now a Gardevoir, great Hollowware, by the way, also Sparkle Spray. That is going to be so scary. You don't want to get anywhere close, because now one mean look, and you are donezo.
rare misstep from Slash there to actually a check button in for the Woodhammer stun, but there was no damage to really back them up in that spot, and because of it, Slash goes down and is one cooldown away. It's a pretty tough one to lose. G are getting a lot of scores in on that top side, and this Regieleki going to be that more threatening. Obviously, against a Sableye composition, you really want to play for your scoreline. You do not want Sableye to amp up a lead that is already getting ridiculous. DOL Kittens, though, they are trying to scale a Gardevoir at the same time, and that is going to be a big Reggie secure on the bottom side to help do that job.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing about the DOL Kittens comp is that I feel like when we usually see Sableye, it's along with a lot of other early game Pokemon, but specifically like seeing a more later game like Talonflame and the Gardevoir is going to be really strong. Not as much early game, so it's an interesting comp.
Oh, 100%. Now, okay, some more stacks going in. Eggnoob is going to go down for it, so a very aggressive stacking attempt. They are going to get knocked out, and now it is just the Gardevoir at level 9. This Unite move is just so threatening at any given time. G has to play sort of spread out whenever they know Gardevoir has it, and thanks to some, not the most recent, but decently recent balance patch, that Gardevoir can use a Unite move a ton.
Yeah, only like 4 months ago, pretty recent. No, I'm just kidding. I actually don't remember exactly how recent, but yeah, you can use it so much. And we've seen a lot of good, really strong ones used recently. We're going to get the KO on the Sableye again. You're not really caring about all that much. Psychic Solaire tried to get the combo, but that little bit of a knockback from the Psychic Solaire is a little bit weird to figure out the angle for because it's always directly outwards, right? So it's just a little bit off angle.
Yeah, Sobi going to make sure they clean up the job themselves, though, on that stored power Espeon. One of the strongest builds we've seen competitively this entire year, out of all the evolutions. So consistent, so oppressive from time to time. Gardevoir Unite move to try to cancel out the Meowscarada, and that's textbook. That is how you shut down that dive.
Yeah, that's exactly what we saw against the Unite from the Phalanx earlier, actually.
Yep.
And same exact strategy. Hey, if you're going to go 1-for-1, you're going to get KO for, or KO EXP for all those Pokemon. That was a great exchange from DOL Kittens.
Picture perfect from Elmo Girl as well with the Moonblast stun while Black is trapped inside that mean look, and that means every single hit from Psyshock will be landing, and they immediately 100% to 0 that Mew.
I'm actually almost surprised that we're seeing Psyshock when we're getting so many guaranteed hits, but I mean, regardless, it's not going to matter. It's going to be a KO regardless, I think, if they get into a mean look. We might get the teleport back if they get the opportunity. They're actually going to use the Unite here on bottom. Eggnoob trying to bring in the rest of the team to fight for this Regirock, but it's already so extremely low, and it does look like they were able to steal Trevenant last hit of all things.
Yeah, Psyshock is a lot of damage, but predictable damage, right? And so we have Slash weaving in their damaging moves to take that hit. Huge Unite move from Sobi. Picks up 4 targets, but at this point, it's just buying time. Muck is on the other side of the map trying to score, and Talonflame trying to defend that Regieleki on the top side.
Yeah, so far, lead as far as points go to G, and like you mentioned, with the Sableye, that's really what they want to do, but strangely enough, it's kind of the opposite. Usually with Sableye, it's like, yeah, you're losing fights, but you're winning the score. DOL Kittens has been winning fights and then a losing score, but it's like not bad. It's just a strange way, again, for a Sableye game to play out in my eyes.
It's been close. It's also been how G has been trying to play this. They have been very aggressive on that scores. We have seen both Slash and Eggnoob go down in kind of uncomfortable positions, but it's because they've been trying to get constant point pressure. So they're making that risk for the goal zone play. Big Moonblast stun. We have that double team switcheroo from Zealot, and that is going to avoid any hit from that Gardevoir.
Yeah, Zealot playing more of the invasion game than anybody else this time around, kind of living in that purple side center area, doing a great job of it as well. But the defense team has always been there. Again, that's kind of the DOL Kitten style. They do travel together a lot. You can see their entirety of their team is kind of collapsing up top here. Not that there's even an objective quite yet, 30 seconds from now, but they're looking for just one little pick, and that would be scary. I think they're trying to bait. They're trying to bait there with the Sableye movement. I like it a lot.
Yeah, good confuse rate onto Zealot. It's before the flower trick, so it's not even... All right, Muck gets that Trevenant. Big KO. Talonflame trying to chase down. They do take a Mew boosted auto, but it will be a retreat. One and done, but good look from DOL Kittens.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That is a very cheeky little bait. They're going to get KO'd there, Chad will be, but not for, I mean, again, it doesn't really matter. You're kind of going for that. And this top Regieleki is still there. There's 29 seconds left until the final stretch, so I'm surprised that we didn't see DOL Kittens challenge a little bit more, but they want to win the fight. Again, this is the weirdest non-scoring Sableye comp ever. They're just trying to win this final fight, and I think a lot of it could be just, again, how they spend their unites. A lot of true hit or misses for them.
Yeah, Chad's main job has been trying to slow down this Meowscarada with Confuse Race. That has been what they have been isolating this Pokemon for. Trevenant will go down, but I feel like Slash has done their job. Well, maybe not. Huge Horn Leech picks up everybody. An entire team Woodhammer. Gardevoir Unite move hits absolutely nobody. North America in an iffy spot. And now G are in a great position as the final stretch begins.
Oh, they've got the ability to try to push down as fast as possible. They actually are going to catch out at least one more member as we're running away as fast as possible. I don't know if you're going to be able to escape, but that's going to be one more KO because a chunk of damage over on Sobi. But we're going to see the Mew Unite used to try and get away. Umbreon trying to steal some of the shields. Oh, barely last-minute Unite from Eggnoob to pull people back in. But it looks like this is kind of going to be a disengage from both sides.
Yeah, trades being, or stuns being traded between Eggnoob and Elmo Girl in this Gardevoir and the Hoop. Really, really close for KO either direction. But Talonflame is going to be caught out in the enemy central area. Big Confuse Ray on a Slash is pulling them away, and Muck is trying to finish the KO, but they cannot quite do it with Gardevoir trying to chase behind. But that Mew is playing such great interference. Black is so aggressive because they're playing so safe, and that Mew boosted going to do a ton of damage to Gardevoir.
One Unite apiece available, not including Blaziken. We've got the Trevenant Unite, and we've got the Talonflame Unite, which, of course, has gone wide a lot when we see it, but they're going to have to be used soon. Less than a minute left. Last chance for DOL Kittens. They need to make this happen. Rayquaza is taking some damage. They're pushing in huge size shocks. Not going to be quite enough to get the KO. Finally going to land that Unite, or another Unite to try to follow it up. We're not going to need the Talonflame. It's going to be 5v4, though, here in this fight.
That is so many resources all on just the Trevenant. And currently Blaziken is putting in work on that top side. Talonflame does get two. There's only 24 seconds left. Talonflame is going to score. Umbreon is going to score. Black trying to respond in kind. It is a points race between these two teams, but Zella can defend the top side. 272 to 279, 281. G is holding on to this lead. Muck needs to get these points in, but they will not be able to. G eliminating DOL Kittens.
Again, at a scoring race. These two games were as close as could be, but G, making 4th place yesterday, will continue to move forward and guarantee themselves a higher spot than that in the final stretch.
Oh, they are now in one game away position before they get qualified for the World Championships, and they're taking it like champs. The winning moment, they understand that score. DOL Kittens, a heartbreaking game.